I'm going to take myself off video so that we can focus on you, Mike. But thank you for being here. HouseAmp is one of our partners, our favorite partner for pre-sale renovations. And they launched in July, or actually June, in California. And you guys are both located in California, so this is perfect for you. Mike's going to go over the general offering, and I think you're going to show a demo of the platform too real quick, right? How to manage the projects?
No, we won't get into that kind of detail.
Okay, no worries.
But
we'll like the value proposition.
Briefly show it, yeah.
Awesome. Then take it away.
Awesome, thanks. Well, hello, everyone. Let me just share my screen so we can go through this presentation. And especially because just two of you, feel free to come or stay off mute and ask questions, and we'll make it super casual. All right, can you guys see that? Radius Concierge powered by HouseAmp?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, cool. So we are definitely your new concierge partner, and an awesome tool for homeowners to upgrade their home prior to listing as well as prior to sale. And we'll go over that in a lot more detail here in a second. But let me first start by asking you a couple quick questions. Does move-in ready really matter, especially in today's market? You know, obviously prices are now higher, rates are higher. Cash is now a little more strapped because you got to put more down to get the more expensive property. In your areas, down in that Palm Springs area, does move-in ready matter more or less than who wants to come in and maybe fix up the property? What would you say?
Oh, move-in ready is what everybody wants.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'd say the other thing with that is, like, yes, there are still people who like fixers, but with interest rates being so high, there isn't a whole lot of money to fix up homes, at least for people who are intending to live in the house.
For sure.
So you kind of have to have a place that's livable for a while.
Yep. So according to this survey in 22, what in your market, what have you guys seen? What percentage of homes before they go to market have some sort of unresolved issue?
In our market,
yeah,
it's probably 25 to 30% of them have something that needs to be done.
Okay. Well, according to this 2022 survey, 76% of homes nationwide have some sort of unresolved issue, and whether it could be from, again, plumbing or just updating the paint, or maybe carpet needs to be replaced or something like that. And I kind of already asked this, but what percentage of your buyers are looking for a move-in ready versus one that requires updating?
About 98%.
Right. And it's more and more, especially now with the prices going higher. But of course, the big blue company in 2020 says 80% of the buyers were looking for move-in ready. So this is a couple years ago. And so there might be a couple of stragglers that are still liking the Joanna Gaines and Property Brothers guys and get motivated to do it themselves. But for the most part, people want a move-in ready house. And then just for fun here, what percentage of all statistics are made up?
50%.
50? Well, actually, according to Business Insider, it's 73%.
73, okay.
But is it? But in all seriousness, what percentage of your listings would sell faster and at higher prices if they had just a little bit of work done?
No, I would say the vast majority of them.
I would agree. And I'm not going to put a number to that question. I know it's a very, very high number. Homes that have a little more work done look better, and they will sell faster and for more prices. So who am I? Why am I telling you all this stuff? My name is Mike Harden. I am the agent engagement rep here for HouseAmp. I am also a licensed real estate agent here in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I'm at. I started out as an unlicensed assistant in Southern California. Rancho Cucamonga to be exact, and moved my way up here to Las Vegas following a girl, which is now my wife, and spent some time as an unlicensed assistant, went through title and escrow, all that kind of stuff. Finally got my license 16 years ago. Ended up most recently a senior agent, a trainer, designated licensee for a top team here in Vegas, and a CE instructor. And I tell you this only not to toot my horn or anything, but I've been in your shoes. I've seen listings that need work. I've had homes sell for a lot less than they should because of the condition. So I've been in I've been in your shoes. But I got out of the production side of the business because I have 3 grandsons now, and my weekends now are no longer for showing property and open houses. I hang out with these little guys. So I got to switch over to this financial technology company that helped benefit real estate agents, which is what I love doing. So that's who I am and why I'm here. So quickly about the Radius Concierge powered by HouseAmp program. It is a digital ecosystem. Basically, there's no paper involved, and it combines the homeowner, a lender, you, the agent, and service providers to increase the sellability of the property, increase the value, and ease some issues with moving and sale related expenses. So a quick overview of the property, some bullet points. It's super fast and quick. Homeowners, when they're invited by you, their agent, they answer a couple quick questions and they can easily see their rate and they can apply. The timing is super flexible. Anytime before listing or after maybe an inspection. So before closing, you can still apply for this loan. There's no listing price caps. So however, how big the listing is, it doesn't matter. The loans are based on the amount of equity in the property and of course, lender approval. And basically, again, like I mentioned before, it's completely digital, no paper. The service providers will provide an invoice to the system and the homeowners can click on yes, pay that invoice, and then the service provider does get paid. The great thing is you can use your own service providers. You're not dictated to who you have to use. There are some other systems out there and they say you have to use XYZ contractor. We're not like that. You can use, if the homeowner has a brother-in-law who's a roofer and they need a roof, they can use that brother-in-law. I'll leave the licensing and level of licensing and insurance, things like that to you and your professionalism. But anybody can be a service provider on the system. And again, it's last minute. They can super quick solve last minute problems anytime from, again, listing to right before closing. So here's a quick example of the impact. So here's a home built in the 90s, and it's decorated like it's still in the 90s. You have the green paint and the original oak builder cabinets and all the knickknacks, things like that. Looking at these pictures, do you think this home would sell?
No.
Maybe.
Not with the aqua.
Yeah, not with aqua. Yeah, and actually, when in real life, it was mint green. It was like the ice cream mint green. It's mint chocolate chip ice cream. It was horrible, and it was all throughout the house. But this house would sell. Sure, somebody might be able to look through it and see the potential. But if it did sell, would it sell at a high price? No, definitely not top dollar. So, but if we added $7,500 in cabinets, $3,200 in paint and miscellaneous items, $4,200 in appliances, and then $5,100 in countertops, now you have this kitchen in this house. Now, would that one sell?
Yes.
All day, right?
Oh,
And so now you have an increased marketability. You have amazing looking pictures. It's up to date. It's crisp and it's clean. It's going to invite more buyers. More buyers means potentially more offers, which means an increased sale price. So here we have a $20,000 upgrade. We have now increased marketability and an increased sale price of at least $100,000. So the question usually is now, does your seller have $20,000 sitting around they can put into their house before they sell it? Probably not.
No.
Next question is, do they want to? Probably not. So if they were to be explained that if they could borrow $20,000 from their equity to increase their sale price by $100, that math works because it's not coming out of their pocket, right?
Right.
All right. So that's where HouseAmp comes in. So we'll be able to borrow from their equity, increase the value and the sale price of the property without them having to come out of pocket any kind of money. So it is super fast and flexible. Typical use cases are, again, painting, staging, decluttering, roofing, movers, surprising things that you wouldn't think about, moving materials like boxes and bubble wrap, that kind of stuff. Temporary storage, if they've lived in the home for 20 some odd years, they've got a lot of stuff. They got 20 years worth of stuff and need some of it moved out so the home can be staged. You can use it for temporary storage. Or again, post-inspection repairs, which is what we're seeing a lot of these days also. So the great thing about the system is it's built on our equity estimator, and you guys have access to this as soon as you sign up for your account. And by the way, signing up for the account is free, so we'll get you both signed up for your account right at the end of this this demo. But what you'll get is this equity estimator. And the equity estimator, again, drives the whole system. So we use a bank grade AVM, and everybody's familiar with AVMs, right? Yep. And the most well-known one is the Zestimate from Zillow. And I always joke and say that it's plus or minus 25% of never right. So at least we use Quantarium, and Quantarium again is bank grade. So it's constantly scrutinized and tested for accuracy. And they have to have a certain accuracy rating to be bank grade. So it's fairly accurate as far as AVMs go. So it goes out and it'll find the value of the property. It will also go out and look for public records, see what loans are on the property, do some amortization calculations, things like that, and come up with the equity amount. Of that equity amount, the system will also do some other calculations and say they have this much of their equity available to be borrowed. So in this case on the screen, you've got an $850,000 home with $425,000 of equity. They could borrow up to $297,000 of their equity to do things to the home. Now, this is where you come in, because with your knowledge, skills, and abilities as agents, you know that $297,000, if they spend $297,000 to fix up the house, they're probably not going to get $297,000 on the sale price. So just because it's available doesn't mean they can use it. So this is, again, where you guys come in. So could it be 10? Could it be 20,000? Maybe a carpet, maybe paint. Would it upgrade the house so they could get 50, 75,000 more? Sure. That's where you come in. So the great thing about this is the homeowners never get to see this calculator. They'll see the bottom number where it says estimated accessible, but we don't want to rain on your parade or step on your toes. So if this house actually is showing 850 by the AVM and you're looking at your comps and you say, no, that's wrong, it's 925, nobody's going to see that except for you. So what's good about this is also you can have this before every listing presentation. You're on your way to the house, you plug in the address, and you can walk in the door knowing that this homeowner has access to these funds in case they need it. So it's an amazing tool for your toolbox, another arrow for your quiver. When you're setting up that listing presentation, you know what they have available to fix things that might need fixing. Here is a quick screenshot of what the system looks like. It's very, very simple and clean. On the left, you put in your address in the equity estimator. You can assign a homeowner and click invite homeowner. It's literally that easy. And basically you type in their name, their address, and their email address. Homeowner will get an email inviting them to join. And then you'll have some oversight. You'll see all your homeowners in the system. And obviously you're having conversations with them because you've invited them into the system. You know what's going on. We're going to paint the house. We're going to do new carpet, and we're going to get new appliances. So the homeowner will then create those projects and then hire a contractor. They can use one from our network, or you can provide them one, or they might have one. If they're not already in the network, they can get added, and then they can do their negotiations, whatever the price may be. Then the service provider will provide the invoice. It goes into the system. The homeowner will be able to click on that invoice and say, yes, pay it. And the good thing is the homeowner never actually gets the cash. The money stays within the system, so it all stays compliant, and they don't do any weird things with the money. It's going to be paid. It's going to be used to pay those contractors. So about the loan. So here's, okay, nothing's free. So here's what this is going to cost. And so the loan is an equity-based pay later loan. Funding anywhere from $10,000 up to $400,000, depending on their equity amount. There is a 1.99 origination fee. That origination fee comes right out of the loan as soon as it's funded. So again, the seller's not having to come out of pocket any money. There's a 60-day no interest period also. So let's say you take the listing and you get the loan, you get the repairs done, you get it sold, and you get it closed within 60 days. The homeowner is going to get essentially a no interest loan because if they're within that 60-day period, no interest. Interest starts on day 61. The interest rate starts at 11.99. Right now it's running about 14.5. We have two different lenders on our platform that are lending money, and the 14.5 is the one that's covers the majority of the country. It is a 24-month loan with a 6-month draw period. So the only thing that potentially resembles a HELOC is this draw period. Other than that, it's not related to a HELOC whatsoever. So let's say you do some pre-listing items. Maybe you paint it. Maybe you do the carpet. And now the inspection rolls around and the inspector finds out there's major roof damage. And they have to do a new roof. Well, if they don't have the funds, what are they going to do? If it's within that 6 months from the first time they have the loan, they can draw more funds if they're available to make that repair and keep the transaction together. There are no payments for the first year that they have the loan. Hopefully your listings don't sit on the market for a year and they'll get paid off prior to the year. If they do go past a year, month 13 through 23, they will have an interest only payment. If they get to month 24, that's when the loan is now due. So it's a 24-month loan, or when the home is sold, whichever comes first. Again, we've only, in the thousands that we've done, only 2 that have gone to the full 24 months. One because of extenuating circumstances, the other one because they were kind of fraudulent and they weren't planning on selling anyway, which obviously isn't good. But the majority of them are getting work done and selling the house, and it pays it off. The only financial requirement for the homeowner is a minimum of 650 credit score. They don't have to qualify to pay the loan back, which is great, especially for fixed income homeowners who can't qualify for a HELOC or something like that. They're basically just borrowing against their equity, again, to pay that off when the home sells. Again, there is a 3.5% service provider fee. So when that homeowner is charged, they're $3,000 for paint, that service provider will get charged to 3.5%, much like a credit card fee. But I believe credit card fees for contractors are probably in the 4s or 5s now. So it's much cheaper than a credit card. But the service provider can choose to either pay that and write it off like they would normally do, or they can pass that on to the homeowner and just by increasing the invoice by 3.5%. Any questions so far about the loan?
No.
Okay. So huge upside for your clients. So the benefits for your clients, they're going to unlock more value in their home, again, with your recommendations. So that example of $297,000. Oh yeah, I've got $297. Let's use it. No, we're hoping you can give them recommendations. Hey, we should probably paint. Hey, we should probably do carpet, that kind of thing. They're going to sell faster. So homes with improvements sell faster than those without. We all know that. They're going to sell for more money, for a higher price, which means more profit to them. And they'll be able to tap into their equity, especially if they're cash strapped, equity rich. They'll be able to use that position now where they weren't able to before. Equity just sat there and they couldn't really access it until they sold the property. Now they can utilize that for their benefit. And you're essentially allowing them to flip their house, even though this program is not about flipping homes. You're allowing your seller to kind of flip their own house, turning that as is property to an as was, and making those upgrades so they can get a higher profit for their house. So benefits for you, the agent. You're now, again, you're still the expert. You have this other tool now you can provide to these homeowners and demonstrate your expertise in the market. You'll be able to keep more transactions together if you do have those fallouts from those big repair items during the inspection. Of course, the happier the seller, the more referrals you're potentially going to get, as long as you ask, of course. And again, you'll be able to enhance your referral network by including your service providers. Again, it's a community-built database. So whenever you add a service provider, they're going to be allowed to check a box that says allow public or not. And if they say yes to public, if someone in that zip code goes on and they want a painter and you have a service provider that's in there in that zip code, they can select that painter. So now by you providing or including your service providers into the network, you're potentially giving them new leads. So if you're giving them new leads, they should reciprocate and give you new leads, right? So at least you can have that conversation. And then, of course, you're increasing the sale price of the property, which increases your bottom line. And as real estate professionals, your business owners, your bottom line matters. So let's make it bigger, right?
Yeah.
So the one thing you have to do now is just pick up your phone, scan that QR code on the right, not the one next to my mugshot, but scan the big one on the right. That's going to take you to the page where you can click create your account. Click on create your account. Just put in your property, or your name, your company information. Actually, you don't have to put the company because it ought to be there. Your name, your office address. It'll ask you for your address. We don't want your home address. Put in your office address and your phone number, your email. And there's 2 little check boxes to select, and that'll get your account set up. So get that doing right now, and I'll check and make sure they come over properly. You guys have any questions while you get that?
Yeah, 3 questions. One, Marcia and I are a team. Every deal we work on together. So
perfect.
We'll just probably create one account.
Okay, cool.
I'll just put it under my name.
That'll work.
That wouldn't prevent her from logging in, right? So that doesn't
no, as long as you give it a login.
Okay. The second thing is, we have a percentage of the properties in our area that are located on Indian lease land. Does your program allow for that?
I have no idea. How does that work with ownership?
Well, basically you don't own the land and you pay a monthly rent amount for the land. So the theory behind it is that like if you had 2 identical houses side by side and one was on fee land and one was on lease land, the lease land one would be cheaper because you're not having to pay for the land up front. You pay that monthly and lease rent.
I would probably say no.
Okay.
There are some restrictions on the property. The property needs to be owned for at least 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a single family residence, no condos, manufactured homes, and no current foreclosure process on the property.
Well, that was my third question. Do you cover manufactured homes?
No, only single family residences. They can either be the primary or the secondary residence, because obviously down in the Palm Springs area you'll have some secondary residences, snowbirds, things like that. So those would qualify. What else? I think that's it. But yeah, I believe because that land is leased, it would kind of fall under the condo type of ownership style. So it probably would not.
Right.
Yep.
So, well, the lease land in our area is probably about 40% of the land in Palm Springs. But then as you go down, we call it down valley towards La Quinta, it's less and less until it gets to be none out in La Quinta.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. What other kind of questions do you guys have?
That's all I have. Do you have one, Marcia?
Nope, that's all I have. Pretty well answered everything. So
awesome. And on that page where you signed up, there's also a link on the top that says Agent Resources. If you click on that link, that'll give you a bunch of PDFs where you can customize those and use as marketing material. So when you do go to a listing presentation, I mean, this might not apply to every house, but if you show it to everybody, they might say, hey, well, we could do that. So you'll be able to put that in your listing presentations as well.
Oh, cool. Okay, so I just did it. Now it says it's sending me a confirmation email, so I'm watching for that.
Perfect.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, confirm email. Okay, so you should see that.
Awesome. Let me double check here.
I'm just trying to log in now.
Okay. I know I'll sit here in a second. My computer's going a little slow today when it comes to emails and systems. So
I had that last week. Okay. Yeah, it let me in.
awesome. Perfect. Well, great. We'll keep my contact information is a QR code on the left. So if you want to scan that, or just write down my number, or feel free to give me a call if you have any questions. We're here to help you out.
Okay, great. Sounds
All
good.
All right. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thanks for coming, Mike.
Not a problem. See you later.
Okie dokie.
All right. Bye-bye.